Hello, people of Earth, and welcome to yet another episode of the Just for Giggles podcast. I'm your host, Aubrey Friedrich, and hopefully, I look a little bit more alive today than I did last week because, for one, I did my hair and makeup today because I'm going somewhere tonight, and I figured I'd just do it now because I was like, it just seemed like it made sense. Plus, I also slept in until 11:45 today. I I've definitely done worse, but I can't say I'm upset about it because life just gets draining. Two jobs, no social life really. I'm lucky if I get out once a week to do something fun. So I was just like, because today is my 1 day weekend. Because I haven't had a break in I have no idea how long. Because I've been at one of my jobs every single day. So I was like, I'm just going to sleep. I'm going to sleep, give my body the rest that it needs, and we're going to move on because I think about this a lot. I just know it's not going to get any better and I'm just going to progressively get more tired as I age. I'm not looking forward to it because I mean, for one, eventually I'm probably going to be able to quit working at the bowling alley and I'm going to be like booked and busy like constantly at the salon and life's going to be great. And then who knows? Maybe this will be a bigger thing for me and I have no idea. And then if Mr. Right ever spawns in and I get married and probably have kids, it's just as a human being, I'm done. I'm cooked, if you will. Like call me burnt or whatever. Like I'm burnt out. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better cuz it started with school and granted I didn't go to college. Sometimes I think about what my life would have been like if I went to go to college, but I can't really think of anything that I would have done because there's not. I have actually no idea how I landed on the career that I did. I don't know, and I have no idea if being a nail tech is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life because my wrists. I'm probably going to have to get carpal tunnel surgery. I've just got a feeling I do make it a point to stretch my wrists every day, and yeah, it's yeah. Oh my gosh. So maybe this will become a thing and I'll be able to have a more loose schedule. And I have no idea. Do I have too much on my plate? Do you guys think I have too much on my plate? I don't know. Maybe someday I'll catch a break. Anyway, for the fun little stories of the week, I almost died the other day because I was on my way home from work at the bowling alley and it had like snowed while I was there and maybe like a couple hours before I went in. And even like beneath the snow, the roads were a little bit like I wouldn't really say icy, but there was like dense snow underneath it. But I was on my way home and I have to take a slight right to get home. And there was snowdrift going to the left. And there was probably some sort of dense snow underneath this snowdrift. And before anybody comes at me, I was not going that fast. I wasn't going any faster than I would have any other day. And I go right, and then my car swerves left. And then it goes right, and then it goes left. And then it goes like a fat, like 180. And at that moment, I completely accepted defeat. Like the only thing going on in my mind is like I'm gonna end up in a ditch. Like my car's gonna get totaled. I'm gonna roll. I'm probably gonna die. Because it's during those moments you just kind of forget everything you've ever learned to do in those situations because you're just too scared for your life to remember. So the only thing that I could think of in my mind was let go of everything. Like I let go of the wheel because I was like, if I over direct, then I'm definitely gonna roll my car. If I hit the brake, who knows what's gonna happen? So I just let go of everything. And I was like, Jesus, take the wheel. For real. Jesus, take the wheel. For real. And thankfully there was nobody behind me and there was nobody coming from the other direction because that could have ended really bad because I was like in the other lane by the time this whole thing was over. And I was just like, oh, very thankful that I didn't die. Very thankful that nothing happened. And I just need to lock in better sometimes. I don't know how many of y'all watched the Super Bowl, but I can't say I watched any farther beyond. I literally just watched Charlie Puth sing the national anthem, and that was it. But Charlie Puth, man, he slayed the Boots house down. He made me feel real patriotic in that moment. Like, I felt very patriotic. Made me feel like all was well in the country for like 2 minutes. um, who won? I forget. I'm pretty sure it was the Seahawks. I think. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Seahawks. Imagine I'm wrong. Like, because I think like the next day I like asked my dad who won, and he told me, and he said it was a pretty boring game to watch, and then something about how the player of the game thing or whatever like should have gone to the field goal kicker. Blah blah blah. I don't know. I don't really. I don't follow the NFL in any capacity. But I did love seeing like the grass people from Bad Bunny's halftime show. I thought that was iconic. Way to create jobs, Mr. Bunny. Way to create jobs. I saw somewhere that they were paid like $17.80 per hour. And they had like 70 plus ish hours of rehearsal. So I was like, dang, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. That could have made for a nice side hustle. That's all I really have to say about the Super Bowl. If I followed the NFL more, even if I did follow the NFL, I don't even know what team I would like root for, like ever. Because I feel like no matter what would happen, I'd get considered a band. I'd like become a bandwagon or whatever. I I don't know what. Anyway, I was at the bowling alley the other day, and I was getting close to closing yet again. Actually, no, I don't think I was even close to closing at this point. I was in the middle of my shift, like I don't know, it all just kind of blurs together. But more drunk people came up to mess with me. This guy wasn't like absurdly drunk, but after yapping with him, he told me that he and like the couple people he walked in with were like they like were in a wedding because I asked him why he was literally wearing a freaking bow tie, and he was like in a wedding, and I don't know. And he was saying something, 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 and I was like, pause. How old are you? And he told me he was like in his 30s or something. Then he asked me how old I was. Duh. And then I told him to guess because that's always it's one of my favorite things to have people do. I think I mentioned that like last week or the week before. I've mentioned it before for sure. And this guy looked at me dead in the eyes, straight face, and told me he thought I was 26 or 27. I was gagged. I just the only way I can cut him any form of slack is that was after the fact that I told him I had two jobs. Because he was like, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess. And it's not that I wouldn't say I look any younger than 18. I'm reaching unk status, guys. I think about the fact that I'm turning 20 a lot, and it low-key freaks me out because it's like a whole new chapter of my life, and I'll be like, I'm in my 20s. But 19 is like such a weird age because it's like I'm not like a fresh adult anymore, but I'm not in my 20. It's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't say I'm that excited to turn 20, but then down the road it'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm 21. Now I can like legally go to the bars and blah, blah. I don't really care that much. Like, I am I developing a birthday aversion? I don't, I feel like if I get through this one all right, which hopefully I do, unless something very unfortunate happens and I don't make it there, where it's all gonna be fine. It's all gonna be fine. And also, I just like to point out that my birthday is the day before tax day. Lots of stuff with taxes are circulating and whatnot, and it is so overwhelming. It could like make me cry. Like there's two things that are certain in life: death and taxes. And I, the last thing I want to do is get in trouble with the IRS. But I'm literally just a 19-year-old girl who has no idea what she's doing. Like I don't need a letter in the mail saying I owe them like $1,000. Granted, I don't think that's gonna happen. At least to the amount of $1,000, but the last thing I need is to get in trouble for tax fraud. That would absolutely send me. I was on TikTok the other day, just like a large majority of the population, and I was scrolling, and it was one of the it was a TikTok, and it was just like it must have been like it was in some sort of like basketball court, and it was like on the sideline, and it was like 20 different awalas, like the different sizes and the different colors. And it was like, what the heck? And then it really got me thinking. I was like, man, remember the days of the hydro flasks and like the Visco girls and everything? I would have never considered myself a Visco girl. I never downloaded Visco or whatever. But I tried to be all hip or whatever with like the high goofy buns because I had long hair at the time and the scrunchies and even like the puka shell necklace. Uh, that was a time. And then we all switched to Stanley's, and I never had a Hydro Flask or a Stanley. What water bottle was I using? I don't know, a clear one because I had to have a clear one for school. Whatever. And then Awalas. I got an Awala. I don't remember what color theme this is, but I think she's cutie. And somehow I've yet to dent it. It's just really dirty right now, and I need to clean it. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. I was at, it was on Tuesday, actually, just this past Tuesday. I was at church choir rehearsal after honestly, I actually just did, I slayed the Boots house down with the set I did at work prior. Because my client, she does like, all of her nail sets are like on theme with like the season, but she always does them a little bit more unique. So the day of her appointment, she sent me like five ish photos of different inspo, and she told me I could pick which one. And I was looking through them, and I was channeling my inner her, and I was like, all of the ones with hearts we're not doing. She does more unique stuff we're not doing. And then the other like three or four, I think it was three. The other ones all had um they were two of them were just like two or three different shades of pink with, I don't know, some of them had like checker print, and the checkered was honestly very iconic. And then the last one, the one we ended up going with, was two different shades of pink and then black and white. And I was like, this is honestly very iconic and I love it. Slay. And I was like, we're doing this one. I hope you're okay with it. So the only thing I had to have her do was pick out the shades of pink that she wanted. Yeah. And they ate. And a thing that I love about this girl, if she ever finds this, if the people who I ever talk about in some of these stories ever find this, um, I don't really know what to say, but this story isn't even bad because I love her. She's great because I post all of my nail photos on my nail page on Instagram, and then it shares to my nail page on Facebook. And obviously, her and I are friends on Facebook. She shares them every single time. And uh, I was looking at the posts, and some of her friends that I'm not friends with were commenting. So obviously, I liked them all. Yeah. Yeah. They were getting some hype. They were getting some hype. And I was like, let's go. Let's go. It was so fun. And after all of the appointments, because she's always an evening client, there's two of the other girls that are there, and the two of them and all of their clients wanted to see them, and they were serving, and they all loved them. And it's just, and then my boss saw them the next day after I like posted the picture or something, and she was like, "Those are," she loved them too because it was like, she was like, all of the other ones are just like really boring, and I was like, exactly why I chose it. Anyway, that was a complete side story. That wasn't even what I was originally going to talk about. Anyway, I was at church choir, and we were practicing one of the songs that, I mean, obviously I already knew, but there's harmonies to it that I never knew, and I sing the alto part, so we're trying to figure it out. Because apparently in years past, they had never done it in parts. or something. I don't know. Because one of the altos, she is so like goofy. And mind you, she's in her 60s for sure. And she's she's just like unknowingly so funny. And she'll just constantly she'll be like, we've done this one in parts, or like we've done this one without the organ. And I have just, if only she could grace you all with her presence. She is so fun. So that's like the entire reason why we started singing it in parts. And they were like, our director was like listening to the parts, because I think we decided we were going to do it in two parts instead of four. And he was listening to the alto part, and he was like, something about that just doesn't seem right. Like, I feel like I've never heard this before. Like, something seems wrong. And everybody like in the choir was agreeing. And then I had the audacity to say, like, what did I say? It was like, this doesn't like, I think he said like, this doesn't sound right to me, or something, or like, this is new to me, or something. And I was like, I don't know. I agreed with the statement in whatever way, and then everybody like rolls their eyes and starts laughing. And a fun thing about said director is that he's threatened, quote unquote, to throw erasers at people, and it's like those dry erase marker erasers. And I had yet to ever see him do it, and we've been in this for a handful of months now, and I think I was the first victim, as because he threw an eraser at me. He missed. He missed hardcore, and obviously there was no oomph behind the throw. It was just a toss. Still missed, and it landed with the guys behind me, and they thought about throwing it back at him. And we were like, it's all gonna end up downstairs because we're up in the loft. And yeah, that thing definitely would have ended up down on the floor, and somebody would have had to go get it, and it probably would have been me. That rehearsal was just so funny, because me and the other altos were just like constantly, every time we flip to a new song, because just about every week we're singing a different song that we haven't done that year, obviously, because the year keeps going. And the three of them will all be like looking at each other and looking like, being like, did we do this one in parts last year? And I'm just like, you guys tell me what we're doing and I'll do it, because I can pick up the harmonies pretty quick for the most part. We're all just laughing, and it's such a good time. It's such a good time, and it's such a unique thing to be a part of. I've definitely mentioned this before. It's so unique. Like, you don't just like walk around and you hear like somebody my age be like, "Oh yeah, I'm in the church choir." Like, you don't hear that kind of thing very often. Also, could totally be like a crazy stat that I'm saying incorrectly. So, I am not a factual source. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. But I feel like the rate of like young Catholics is going up. I think I saw that somewhere. Is that true? I don't know. Because sometimes I see these stats on Instagram and I'm like, oh, that's neat. I love that. And I keep scrolling. To round this off, I was really thinking about music the other day, because I get excited to just get in my car and drive to or from work, or literally to anywhere, or when I go to take a shower. I'm so excited to turn on music. The hardest part is just choosing what music to listen to, because it's like, what album or what artist or what playlist. But to be quite honest, I haven't added like any music to my playlist lately, because I normally just like pick an album or I pick an artist and I put it on shuffle. That's just what I do. So that's nice. That's a treat for sure. But anyway, that is all the stories, I think, or all of the notable ones that I have for the week. Everybody, give me ideas for what you want to see in the future, because I love giving these little life dumps, but I also really, really love when I have like a friend or some sort of like specific theme to talk about. Because whenever there's a theme that I'm really passionate about, or just something really funny, like, let me know. Because I'd really love to do something fun again. Or if there was any of the guests that you've seen in the past that you want me to do like a part 2 with them. Let me know so I can reach out to them and see if they're down to do it again. All of the above. Let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback. Yeah, that was this week's episode. It was so much fun. I know. Yeah, it's definitely not the longest one we've seen. Definitely not. But that's okay. That's okay. Maybe you sat here and you watched it with your eyes the whole time, or maybe you had me like playing in the background while you cleaned your room, or you're driving to or from work, or whatever. But thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to me ramble or just speak. Hopefully, I brought some sort of joy or confusion, or just, yeah, maybe I was just something to laugh at. I don't know, but nonetheless, thank you for like spending your time with my random thoughts. I appreciate it. Sometimes I'm like so honest when I say this. Sometimes I almost forget that I have this. Like I'll just be on my phone and I'll be like, "Oh, let me check out the stats on my like latest episode." And I'll be like, "Oh, that's so awesome. Yay." And I move on with my day. I appreciate it, but I have so much going on in my life. So much but so little. I don't know. I keep myself busy because on Thursdays it's just like, okay, gotta go record and I gotta go start editing so that I can get it done and ready to go for Sunday and yada yada yada. And I make it work. I'm doing my best. I'm a 19-year-old girl trying her best. Anyway, I've said it like 6 times, but that's all for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, give me all of your ideas in the comments. I will see you next week. Cue the non existent outro.